So, you know, I think being a member of Congress, you really get the best of both worlds. You get to have a seat at the table on national issues that are going to affect millions of people for decades to come. And you also get to have a real say in local issues that are directly related to the quality of life of the people that we represent. So, and I've really focused on that, on the latter, more so than I have the former. Not to say that I haven't focused on the former, but I've really made one of the focal points of my service dealing with local issues and trying to bring the resources of the federal government to bear to solve local problems.
So we have jobs, job creation. We're also talking about finances for mortgages and now education. Seniors are falling into all of those things. We have an aging population. We have some healthcare issues that are very serious. You know, we're getting beat up and hearing all this information about the health insurance issues that are very serious. But we need to, I think, fix whatever is wrong and to keep working on making it better, particularly for older people. Yeah. I mean, again, it goes back to Medicare. I'm hoping Medicare is going to be available for me when it comes around. But also, I have a very sick husband who is older, and we are very dependent on Medicare and, you know, secondary insurance. And in many cases, it's worked very, very well for us.
This is one of the real issues that is at play in this election. Mm-hmm. The Republicans have a plan to privatize Medicare. The individual that will become the chairman of the Budget Committee, if the Republicans retake the House of Representatives, wants to turn Medicare, or is proposing to turn Medicare essentially into a voucher system where every senior would get a fixed amount of money, and then they would be expected to use that money to buy a private plan. And so over time, this would be phased in over time. Over time, Medicare, as we know it, would cease to exist. And I believe that the plan is outrageously detrimental to the interests of our seniors, because what it presumes is that a senior like your husband, who is infirm, would be able to buy a policy that he can afford. And that is an assumption that no reasonable person can make. No. I mean, we will have a public health crisis of monumental proportion for everyone except the very wealthy if this plan is put into place, and yet this is the plan that if the Republicans retake the majority in the House of Representatives, that they will be proposing.
How is the average citizen expected to even understand what that's about?
That's, I think, one of the things they're hoping. But look, I mean, as long as I remain a member of Congress, I will resist with every bit of energy I have any effort to privatize Medicare. It is a program that works very well. It is cost effective. 98 cents of every dollar we spend on Medicare is spent on the actual delivery of patient care.
Amazing.
The private companies can't come close to that. The health care reform bill that we passed requires the private companies to spend 80 cents of every dollar on the delivery of patient care, and they're screaming. They say they can't possibly do it. Medicare is doing it with 98 cents.
It's you know, it's truly remarkable. Again, it's an educational thing. Most of us don't know any of this stuff. I mean, who's going to sit around studying policies?
Right.
But and that's why we do depend on our congresspeople to take care of us in this regard. And again, that's why it's so almost evil to have this negativity in the presentation of what the programs really are, scaring people into thinking that something bad has been happening to them. Really, something pretty good has been happening.
Yeah. Unfortunately, scare tactics are very common. You know, you prey on people's fears, you get them thinking in a particular direction, and pretty soon they make a decision that's not in their best interest. You know, one of the things that I try to do as I move around the district is I try to present facts, and then I believe that reasonable people, when they are presented with a set of facts, are going to make a sound judgment. Now, sometimes
you have a lot of faith in me.
No, I do. And sometimes people can, I mean, Gresham Barrett and I can look at the exact same set of facts and come to a different conclusion. That's life in a democracy. But I believe that in the main, when people have the right set of facts and the same set of facts, they're going to make a judgment that's consistent with those facts. And I believe that if people do make judgments consistent with those facts, they're going to recognize that the policies that we have pursued over the last several years are policies that are moving us in the right direction.
Well, actually, got very close to the end. We only have a few more seconds left, and I'm so glad you were able to be here to talk about it.
Okay, well, thank you for having me on.
And I just think that we're very well served, Congressman, and,
thank you.
and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. I hope that's the case.
And,
Thank you very
if you can,
much.
you can come back after this, and
Okay.
after you've had a long rest.
Well-
If you get a vacation, do you get a vacation?
Well, the last day I took off was Labor Day, and the last day before that was Father's Day.
Oh, my
And the
goodness.
last day before that was Mother's Day. So
You deserve
I
some.
deserve a little
little
time
time.
off, but I'm going to, I got to push very hard through the election, and then we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.